Basically, we are back on Egmont Soch ttalk train of thought with a series of episodes with Dr. Sandhya Saharan, exclusively on ttalk Egmont Soch. I think we have been covering the diversified topic from leadership, from management, women empowerment, sports, and different issues of community at large. And today we are having Dr. Sandhya Saharan on this particular show. Now, many times you will see in a society there are various issues which are there. Basically, when we talk in terms of an girl child, in fact, empowering the girl child through education is very important. And now, today's episode, we are going to talk more in terms of the girl child at the initial stage, the issues and the problems which are there, which I think Dr. Sandhya Saharan, she is there on our show, and I'm sure she's going to address a lot of the doubts which are there for the target audience. Dr. Sandhya Saharan, welcome back to this show again.
Thank you.
And now, in fact, there are the various issues which are there, so the girl child which are concerned, and Mrs. Chima, she'll have a conversation and some insights as for the relevant topic, how to empower the girl child through an education.
Right.
Doctor,
Yes.
after childhood passes, then puberty sets in.
Right.
And with puberty comes, for the girl child, comes menstruation.
Right.
And the girl child who is facing it for the first time, she is in a very fearful situation.
Right.
She has so many doubts, like how to clear her doubts. So for our target audience, doctor, can you please suggest how to educate the child about menstruation?
Right. Very important question, because what happens is in our country, till now, menstruation was a big taboo.
True.
Even at home, nobody would speak about, menstruation. Even if there was a family in which there were girls and there were aunts and uncles, initially there used to be joint family system. So it used to be, nahi, iske baare mein baat nahi karna hai. So girls were not having any education. Now we say it's very important to give menstrual education. It is there in the school curriculum also. We as a Gynac society, we go to all schools and we do conduct workshops. We give them a lot of information. We do conduct a lot of sessions on menstrual hygiene and education. And our society is doing a lot to dispel good information and also to dispel myths.
There are
What is
many.
important is
There are many.
menstruation is something which is surrounded with so many myths
So
many wrong practices.
Yes.
That it is very important to address these issues, and girls should be sensitized about menstruation right from the beginning. I think primary school itself, because what is happening is they are getting the first period when they are in school.
Correct.
And suppose they are in co-education, it becomes very traumatic for the child. If she suddenly starts bleeding in school,
Correct.
and then it causes a lot of emotional trauma.
Correct.
So
True.
we need to address this issue. We need to make them understand that it is a physiological thing. Every woman has to undergo this, and how to balance it, how to accept it, and how to address this.
Correct. To remove all her misconceptions
Yes.
and that fear, and she can handle it in a mature way.
See, when you are informed,
Yeah.
then you know that this is going to happen. Then you are not worried. But just imagine a child, suddenly she sees blood coming and doesn't know about it. She is definitely going to be so scared. So we have to, talk about it. And I think it starts from home. Every household, it is the mother's responsibility.
Correct.
Even the father, I think he
Correct.
should also be equally responsible.
Yeah.
That if it is a girl child, then you should give them this education, and not only girls.
Yeah.
I think even the boys should know that, because it
Okay.
is not, that suppose now it's a brother and the sister is getting her periods. So if the boy also doesn't understand suddenly why is she being treated like this, sometimes what happens is initially there was a practice when the girl would be made to sit separate. Most
true.
in many households, I believe there are
Misconceptions.
some communities
Yes.
where the girl would be kept isolated from the rest of the family, not allowed to enter the kitchen, not allowed to water the tulsi plant. There were these kind of things which we have in our traditional, households many times. So the boys would fail to understand what has happened. Suddenly she was playing and now suddenly she's... So they should also understand that this is a phase of a woman's, it's a
Life.
reproductive organ, and this is how it functions. It is a sign of growing up.
Correct. True. Very true, doctor.
Yes.
Girls should be imparted with that education. And doctor, what is premenstrual syndrome?
Yes. Now, premenstrual syndrome is basically, there is a lot of, talk about it nowadays, especially. Premenstrual syndrome is the time which is preceding the menses.
Okay.
So it is, say, maybe 10 days or maybe 5 days or just a week before, when there is a little bit of a water retention.
Okay.
There are a lot of hormonal changes which go through in a menstrual cycle.
Okay.
It is basically how the cyclical hormonal profile, how it evolves. So sometimes if there is excess of water load, and it can manifest in various symptoms, like you can feel a lot of bloating, sometimes heaviness in the breast, sometimes heaviness in the abdomen, backache,
Headaches also.
headaches, and even breast pain and mood swings, anger, irritation, frustration.
Oh.
Some people have loss in falling asleep, and some people generally feel very low, they feel depressed. And there are many things. Many girls come to me saying that they feel very heavy, they don't want to go to school or they don't want to go to work. Women also come with premenstrual syndrome.
True.
And overall, in the modern parlance, they say, I am PMSing. So it is understood when somebody is behaving a little, out of normal
behavior.
Yes, normal behavior, very irritable, and suddenly, angry at the smallest provocation. So they attribute it to PMS. But I would say it is mainly a little bit of a hormonal change that is happening in the body.
And it's normal.
It's by and large normal. There is always a little bit of water retention before the periods. And gradually as a menstrual flow starts, then definitely it eases off. Because it is a symptom of, how the hormone affects your body. In some people it is more, in some people it is normal.
Okay.
So it all depends on how your body structure is.
Or maybe some ladies may not be even getting this syndrome. Is it possible?
No, it is possible. Not everybody. See, it is the amount of sensitivity you have to the particular problem.
Okay.
If you are having a normal flow of hormones and there is a normal menstruation happening, so you may not have so much of an impact. Not everybody suffers from PMS.
Okay.
There are only few people who, I would say it is manifested more in some people.
Okay.
And they are like, the body reacts to it differently. So it is not that everybody goes through it. But what used to happen before is people were more active. They were very active. And then they would eat right. See, what is important is you have to avoid fried food, you have to avoid chilies, and you have to have a lot of water before your periods and during your periods.
Water.
So this, these habits we see very often, they're not, following these habits. So that is why we see more of, people are more aware about all this. So maybe that's why we see more of it.
Very useful information, doctor, you have given to the target audience, and I hope our audience must be benefiting from this talk. Okay, doctor, during this menstruation time, certain hygiene the girl has to follow. Make our audience aware about it.
Again, very important. See, we have a lot of focus on menstrual hygiene. Especially as you know, recently we've gone through the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay.
And there was a situation where I was the president of the Gynac Society. And I literally got an SOS from many, that there are tribal women in Marathwada and many areas who don't have access to sanitation.
Correct.
Even water was a problem, and then sanitation, because everything was shut.
Okay.
So shops were shut and they were not having any access to menstrual hygiene products.
Dr. Sandhya, thanks a lot for letting our target audience as far as this empowering the girl child through education which is concerned. I'm sure it's going to inspire millions of the women and the girls who are listening to you, and there's a lot of clarity. At one point of time, I think we were part of a more conservative society which are there. But in today's scenario, I'm sure the things are changing. It's a nuclear family concept, and your word of an advice for our target audience, I'm sure it's going to help many of the women who are watching Dr. Sandhya Saharan on exclusively on ttalk Ek Soch Ki. They'll get I'm sure you'll get a lot of insights in terms of what are the hygienic practice which are there, which one needs to adopt and be healthy as such. Dr. Sandhya, thanks a lot for spending valuable time and such a wonderful insights for our target audience. That's what ttalk platform is all about. which ensures that we touch upon each and every community and whatever the issues which are there, how we can bring in awareness and the education among the masses. That's what I think vision and mission of this ttalk is all about. Thank you very much. God bless you in abundance.
Great initiative. Thank you for having me.